Hello, everyone. You are in the presence of divinity and an Elden Lord and Carter. And welcome to episode number 229 of
2:30.
Dang it, it was so good! So good! It is just me and Carter this week. There is not a long curly-haired fellow here this week,
He
because he
had to
had
go have
marriage
his.
class.
I thought he had his bachelor party.
One or the other. Good for him. Either way.
Either way,
Congratulations, Angelo.
congrats.
He is indulging in the beauty of the sanctity of marriage. Um, and this week, we have had some fun stuff. We had Victory Road this weekend, so we'll talk about that. I just beat Elden Ring, obviously, the DLC, which is why that intro came out the way it did. Um,
I'm
how you
playing
doing,
through
Carter?
Emerald. I'm playing through Emerald for like the third time this month.
Carter is having a hard time getting the gen lock together right now,
Well,
boys.
so it's not even. Here's the thing. Based on that, people are gonna assume I've wiped, which is not true.
It's not true.
In
Okay.
reality, I recorded the entire thing and realized I didn't have animations on, and I realized that it makes for a much worse viewing experience, and so I'm going through and playing it again. But also, I finished my Professor Oak's challenge this week at work, so that was another entire playthrough of the game I did, which was I think 101 hours I played.
Jesus.
To be
If
fair,
anyone is asking where the name Littleroot lessons come from, you figured it out, folks.
I really like Gym 3.
If it wasn't obvious enough, he had to sabotage his genlock run in order to play it again. and
The worst part is
near sabotage.
the worst part is this run is much worse than the first one. And a couple my encounters are worse, fights have gone worse. It makes for a better viewing experience. It really does. But
Yeah, welcome to content creation, people.
unfortunately, it's gonna be a little delayed because I wanted to have it out, around the first of the month. But that's not gonna happen because I still have half the game to finish playing and an entire script to write and record. So
And the month ends in 3 days. So
yeah. And I go back to work tomorrow. So yeah.
yeah, maybe not happening by then. Still very excited for when it does come out. I'm sure it's going to be a blast, and I hope that there's maybe some mention to the previous run beforehand.
Dude, what sucks is my Absol was so cool. I took Absol to the E4 and no one's ever gonna see that again because I didn't get an Absol this run. And that sucks because that Absol was really good.
That's very sad. Absol is a spirit animal for anybody who grew up during the mid 2000s. So 2010s.
When did Emerald come out?
I'm not saying based on that. I'm saying based on that he is a punk rock king, queen, non-binary, they
2004.
them. Absol is the goat.
Is Emerald
So
a Gen 3 or 4? Thank you, Google. These are the hard asking questions.
these are the hard-hitting questions right here. This is what we get paid for.
What is so special about Pokemon Emerald? It's a great game.
Rayquaza.
True. Dude, I had to catch all the Reggies in Ultra Balls. I had to catch all three of the box legendaries in Ultra Balls because I had to save my Master Ball for the freaking Roamer.
What is it? Ray that roams?
No, it's
No, you meet
pick
him at
between,
at the top of the tower.
yeah, you pick between Latias or Latios.
That is the roamer.
Yep.
It is. I don't think I've played a run of Emerald since middle school.
Emerald's really good, man.
It was one of my favorite runs. I remember it very vividly, just like putting it together and playing. Um, Great games, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've complained about it before. I can't play the main story games right now.
You and I
I
need
can
to play
only.
Rin Plat again. That game's
Oh
really
my
fun.
gosh.
Game's really, really good.
Oh, you're asking too much, Carter.
Look,
Having to spend
it
time with
only
you.
took Sweden and I like 4 months to beat.
Yeah, it only we played for
And that was independently playing.
we played for a couple of weeks together during Soul Lock, and I didn't even figure out how to use PKX. So
To be fair, your game was stupid. I don't know why it didn't
yeah, it
work.
wasn't working. My computer stinks, so it's what we deal with. Um, we can only I can only play Elden Ring right now, even though I
Darn.
can't play it
What a
anymore.
shame. I mean, you
So
could.
sad.
Go
Yeah, I
New Game Plus it.
could New Game Plus it. Here's my segue to talk about Elden Ring for a couple of minutes because it needs to be done,
Just a couple
people.
minutes.
I was gonna offer this whole entire episode just be me ranting about Elden Ring because this is like lifetime achievement award for me right here. Like, um, this DLC was probably the toughest video gaming experience, or one of the toughest experiences. Like, no, I'm not even gonna say that. Toughest video game experiences I've had, like easily like the most difficult. Um, a lot of the bosses didn't take me too terribly long to beat. Most of them were like one or two sittings, but this final boss took me over the course of like a week and a half almost. Um, it was a nightmare, and it has this phase two where basically like it has all these light effects on the ground
Okay.
and they stun you and they do
Naturally.
damage.
Naturally.
And he puts together about 6 to 8 hit combos on average with light effects after every single hit. Um, and in his phase two, he has like I think somewhere around 7 brand new attacks. Um, that have no basis in the first phase, so they're just completely new. That you've never seen before. Um, which is crazy because this is actually a boss from the main game as well. It's they brought him back to be the final boss of the DLC.
I found a 5.5 hour long video talking about the lore.
That
So
is a short one. that, that's a short video for the lore. Uh, yeah, that I could not recommend this game more to anybody. Those lore videos are some of the most interesting and fun watches ever. I listen to them like while I'm at work or while I'm doing stuff at home, while I'm playing
that's
games.
unironically, that is why I follow like FNAF content, is because the lore of like Five Nights at Freddy is kind of cool, and it's like overly complicated, and so there's multiple like FNAF YouTubers I follow because they've made lore videos that I found really interesting.
And that's just a theory, a game theory.
No, game theory is not even one of them. That's the worst
For
part.
real? That they put me on like MatPat's original series put me on to that to FNAF. FNAF's lore is crazy.
Dude,
Um,
I'm assuming you've watched the movie, right?
I did,
The
yes.
movie's really good. Like
It
all
was
things considered,
fun.
the
It
movie's
was a
a
fun
really fun
watch.
time. We went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday.
I that's the one movie in theaters right now I have not seen yet.
Dude, it's so good. It is
I need
so
to
funny.
ask because I am a very big Marvel critic. Is it so good because of the cameos or is it so good because of everything else?
It's because of Deadpool. Like
Okay.
it's Ryan Reynolds. Like
All right.
there's less cameos than you would expect.
because I know in our fantasy group chat today they were talking about it, and Landon had said that they were asking Dom if the whatchamacallit, the cameos were spoiled for him yet, and that was like the number one question, was like, was that spoiled for you? Not like anything else with it. So I would,
Um,
especially after the recent Doctor Doom pick, I'm a little all over the place in
dude,
terms
I
of how
don't.
I feel.
So we've been like my roommate and I have been talking about that the last couple days. I don't know where they're going with it because it makes like comic book lore wise, it doesn't make sense to just like recast him as Doctor Doom because in the like MCU, Tony Stark is dead.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't make sense to just recast him unless the way they're doing it is we don't get like any Doom backstory and it's just always him in the mask.
I think it's just gonna be
and
multiversal Tony
then
Stark.
that's like the thought I went with is they're gonna do like, oh, this is a multiverse version of Tony Stark where instead of turning into Iron Man, he turns into Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
Which
I promise
makes
people we'll
some
talk about
sense.
Pokemon soon.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. At some point. We need to air our grievances right now. Like,
For Deadpool, there was a trailer for the new Captain America movie as well, which I didn't know we were getting a new Captain America movie.
yeah, that one looks pretty cool. I like what they got going on with that. For me, it just feels really weird to like have this new generation of heroes be like stepping up and like
Yeah,
have all this production being pushed towards, let's get these new guys in the door, but then just going back to your cash cow.
yeah, 100%.
Like it
But like, the big thing is, this is what made them money. This is what popularized them. This is
this
what
is
people want to see. So we
but
have to do that.
it just it to me, like, it just makes the movies just feel so cheap for some reason,
It,
because it's like
yeah, 100%.
so many of them, especially lately, have been like, it's more of like a game of, let's watch the movie and like also try to pick out who's in the movie that we know from other places. And
Yeah,
like that kind of stinks. Like, um I don't know. I feel a little lost on it. Like, I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's fantastic and he's fun and he's awesome. I don't think he fits for Doctor Doom. Like,
it, and so like then the big thing is like Doctor Doom historically is related to the Fantastic Four. That has always been their main villain.
yeah.
So are we going to get all four of them finally, or is this just going to continue to just be, the Avengers and not the Fantastic Four included, or like
Yeah,
it's
I can almost guarantee we're getting them in this, considering they have a new movie that's coming out very soon as
oh,
well.
do
So
they?
it's like,
Are
yeah,
we
you didn't
finally
see
getting a reboot?
this?
No.
Oh my gosh, the cat they have Pedro Pascal, they have Joseph
What?
Quinn, they have Vanessa Kirby and Ebon Moss Bachrach from The Bear as well. Like, the casting's fantastic.
Really?
There was a trailer leaked from San Diego Comic-Con this weekend where they show that they are going to be fighting against Galactus.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
um Trailer looked really cool. That one
No,
I was
I've
very on board with. I loved the casting. I love, like, I don't know much about Vanessa Kirby, but I know a lot about the other three, and I'm very big fans of all of their work.
So what
Um,
happened to what's his name? Um, the guy
John
from the off. Yeah,
Krasinski,
yeah. What happened to John
yeah,
Krasinski? Is
uh,
he just not
multiverse baby. I guess that's
Dude,
the
that's so
explanation for everything.
stupid.
That's literally
I
the explanation for everything. And
He
the
was
and
so good in that role. I thought he was great for that role.
I'm so confused about the hard pivot from Kang to Doom. Like, I know why.
Yeah,
Like,
like
we
I
don't
mean,
have to get into that. But like, why not just recast the guy?
yeah.
Like,
Are we like
are
is
are
Kang
those
Dynasty just not going to happen now? Is it just
no? It's Doomsday and Secret Wars. Those are the next two Avengers projects. 2025, 2026.
So when does Thunderbolts come out? Is it coming out now?
I saw a poster for it recently. I think they're gonna appear in Secret Wars in the second one, probably. But like, see, this is the thing that gets me with this company and with these and with like movies and entertainment. Like, we're like, oh, these movies are just to put them in the Avengers, so that you could be like, oh, look, there's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. They're the Fantastic Four. That's so cool.
But
Like,
like also at the same time, that's what I want. I just want a movie with everyone in it.
but I want like a good movie. Like, I don't want to be playing like I like the IC game. The I don't know, the kids game. I freaking forgot what it's called. I'm dumb tonight.
What?
You know, like when you're like I Spy. There it is.
Like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, you gotta bear with us. This is unhinged night. When Angela's not here, we're allowed off the chains.
I was told we get to drive the bus this week, and he didn't show
the
up. So this is
the
on
bu-
him.
the bus is down the side of a mountain right now. All right, and that's okay. I like where we're at. We're having a fun time. You guys get to know more about us and what's going on. But yeah, this conversation started at Elden Ring, and then it turned to this, and now I am going to turn the page to Victory Road Honolulu number 2.
You remember Silver Surfer in like those 2005 movies?
I do remember those movies. Carter's dragging us back
All
in.
right, I'm done. I'm closing
He's
it.
putting the fishing line out. He's like, "Come on, bite, bite, you son of a gun! You better bite."
I could have waited 5 minutes and then done it.
You would have got me then. You would have gotten me. Are you gonna pull up the results?
Oh yeah, I got it. I got it pulled up. Let's see. I can
So we
actually.
had a second Victory Road to Honolulu tour this weekend, and the results. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to tell you guys about this one because the
Man, if
results
this
are
is
really weird.
if this
This
is
top
what Worlds
16
is
is
gonna look
odd.
like, then it's gonna be a rough viewing experience in my opinion.
So something important to note is, looking at the top 8 specifically, there is only 2 separate restricted Pokemon there. There's only Miraidon and Calyrex Shadow teams, which is nuts. I don't comprehend how that just happens that way. Um, but it does, and we got it.
I mean, like going into Worlds, these are like the two best restricted. So like,
Well, it's so weird because like it felt like Miraidon was on a little bit of a downtick.
yeah,
And it came back not only with being only one of 2 restricteds, but it actually had the most appearances in this top 8. It was 5 as compared to
yeah,
Calyrix's
five to
3,
three.
although neither of them made the finals. It was the Calyrex Shadow teams who did make the finals, which we're starting to see, like a consistent kind of Cali Shadow team here. Congrats to Taro Okada on their win and the $765 prize money that they got. That's pretty massive for a
So
grassroots tour.
yeah, that's a lot of money.
Um, and they won with this pretty standard team of Caloric Shadow, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Rapid Strike. But they added some very cool tech pieces here. They have this Indeedee female with Baton Pass and Trick Room, which I think is really cool. Follow Me and Helping Hand, and then Ogrepon Hearth Flame with like your standard Follow Me, Ivy Cudgel, Grassy Glide set with the Rillaboom.
Using baton passes just like slow U-turn is kind of cool for Indeedee.
Yeah, it's similar to what we saw with Chef,
Mm-hmm.
with his Healing Wish tech, except instead of losing your Indeedee, you
You get
get
to
to bring
preserve it for
something
later.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's obviously benefits and negatives to running Healing Wish over Baton Pass. Like Snarls will stick, Speed drops will stick. Any
Mm-hmm.
stat changes will stick with the baton pass, and the healing wish does allow you to fully heal up a Pokemon that was you know, either statused or uh, ticked from damage. So that's
Yeah,
cool too.
actually thinking about this, like the fact that we have Rocky Helmet means that like if we get intimidated, we don't really want to baton pass to any of the four physical attackers on our team. Minus like Urshifu, I guess, but even
Yeah,
still,
even still.
like your CCs are going to do so much less damage at -1 versus neutral.
Yeah, for sure.
Some
I,
might
I,
say
I
it's like 33% damage less, but who knows?
yeah, I'm like the baton pass tech is very interesting on this team because like with the healing wish, you saw it a lot to enable the Torkoal to try to get it
Mm-hmm.
in on like the first turn of Trick Room. This team really has none of that. It has like no Trick Room mode, besides like Rillaboom, Incineroar, and then obviously you have the Indeedee to counter it. Everything else is pretty fast. Ogerpon, Urshifu, Caloric Shadow.
Well, I guess you can still use it like a U-turn esque move where you fake out with Ensign and then you parting shot out and then you Indeedee baton pass bring back in Ensign. Now they're one physical attackers at -3 and like or -2 and then whatever's next to it's at -3 and -1 special attack. Like I mean, I can see instances of where you want to baton pass, especially into like specifically Incineroar
Yeah, I can
or
see that. You get like the multiple drops every turn.
just like okay, either Indeedee goes down this turn and I get a free switch into Cali Shadow, or I get to preserve it and baton pass at the end of turn into it, and then they had to now face down this Cali Shadow that's at full HP, and then
Yeah.
switch in on damage. Like there are instances where I can see this being good, but like with how popular Intimidate is and like how much Snarl is like running around to like threaten these Cali Shadows. Granted, most of them are going to be like this Assault Vest variant, but like the fact that you can't take a Snarl with Indeedee and then pass into Cali Shadow because now you're at -1, like that is annoying. That's like a nuisance that you would have to
Yeah,
be
for
able to deal
sure.
with.
Especially when you're running the Covert Cloak on Kali to
Mm-hmm.
stop that, and also fake out after Terra, which I think Terra Normal's cool on this. Defensively, it's specifically good into the Caloric Shadow Mirror, which ended up being very impactful,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a Cali Shadow Mirror in finals. The only difference being the Raging Bolt on Francesco Pio Pero's team.
I'm gonna swap over to it
Yeah,
now.
you can swap that over.
Perfect.
Um,
Uh, yeah, literally the difference here is just this Raging Bolt over the Ndidi, which personally
yep.
I like more. I think that this is like more standard for what this team is trying to do. And we're Life Orb on the Cali Shadow versus Covert Cloak as well.
Yeah, with
That's
Psychic
the
instead of
that's the
Expanding
other
Force.
that's the other difference here.
Also, I believe the Rillaboom Terra types are different. I think it's
Water
water
versus
on
Fire.
the yep, and then
Both are Terra Normal on Cali.
and both are Terra Stellar as well with the Urshifu, which I
Yeah,
think is
which
very
that
cool.
in and of itself is also really cool.
And they're
They're
both sash with taunt.
taunt and detect, yeah.
Like I
Very,
can't
very
help but
cool.
feel like these players had built together outside of their their flags being uh from different sides of the world. So
Yeah,
um
that's the crazy part is they are literally on opposite sides of the other half of the world. So
yeah,
being
it's just
in
crazy that they ended up in like such a close proximity to one another and what they
hmm
were going with. Is the yeah, and the ogre pawns are the same and everything too.
hmm
So
yeah, I'm
that's
I'm swapping back and forth between them on my screen. It's just like, yep, these are the same team.
yeah. Oh, and the first place Incineroar has Helping Hand instead of Will-O-Wisp. Is that correct? Is that the right team?
Nope, the second place
Nope.
has helping
Second
hand.
place team has Helping Hand. First place team has Will-O-Wisp. That's cool. That's cool tech.
I
That's
dude, I really like helping hand on Ensign. I think it's a really cool piece of tech where it's just like, all right, cool, sure, you can intimidate whatever. Not this turn though. Here's my helping hand boosted attack.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
just like
think
helping hand
into
next to Cali Shadow to be able to like pick up that extra KO, especially on this Life Orb team where you are already damage boosting. Like being able to helping hand into it. Uh, Notably, the Cali Shadow here in second place because they don't have the psychic terrain is psychic over expanding force as
yeah,
well. So like,
yeah.
I mean, Life Orb boosted, Helping Hand boosted, Astral Barrage is probably KOing something, right?
I would think so. Anything that's not immune to it is not gonna like taking that. But I think it's very interesting too that like just how well like these two techs on these two teams played into the format. Like we have the
Hmm.
helping hand on Francesco's team, which given the scarcity of Pokemon like Calyrex Ice, Zamazenta, specifically in the top 16, we only have one Zamazenta, zero Calyrex Ice. The highest placing Calyrex Ice is at 20. Like Will-O-Wisp, maybe not as impactful as something like a Helping Hand would be. And then we see like the Indeedee in this finals probably was pretty important in that they have so much priority on this other team between the
Yeah,
Raging Bolt and the Rillaboom and the Ogerpon with Grassy Glide and the Fake Out and the it's
yeah. When you have multiple fake out mons, you have a like stab priority attack from your Raging Bolt. To the ogre pawns also have Gressy's glide, so like that's another like. Granted, if you're bringing in Indeedee, you're getting rid of you're getting rid of grassy terrain, unless they read like a double, like if they read your switch and also switch to. Yeah, my
yeah,
head
but
hurts.
like that's also one of the really good reasons to have Indeedee in this
Yeah,
matchup is because
100%.
you are forcing them to play that game,
Yep.
which means you're bringing Rillaboom, you're bringing Calyrex Shadow, right? Like you can only bring two other Pokemon to support that. How can we, play around that? You're more
And
than
like
likely bringing the Incineroar or Urshifu most of
yeah,
the time there.
with four physical attackers on the team, you probably want instant in some capability. So then it's
Yeah,
like, well, now I don't really have a good matchup into their instant, so I probably need Urshifu. So like
absolutely.
you're pretty locked into these top four in this mirror. Like initially, that is my thought, right? Like talking through this, I need Rillaboom to win the terrain war. I need Calyrex because it's my biggest damage dealer. Like Instant helps me check their physical attackers, and then Urshifu helps me deal with their Incineroar.
Yeah, and ties
Like
together the core there
yeah,
as
like
well.
it makes sense, but like then there's this argument of like, well, if I'm trying to win the terrain war, do I want Ogre Pond to be able to have Grassy Glide? Plus, then it gives me like this redirection and follow me for my Calyrex. Like you just get into these like really deep just mind puzzles of how deep am I willing to go to try to like outdo my opponent here.
Exactly. It really forces like a bunch of mind games in this matchup. I mean, you're playing the mirror, and like I
Mirror
feel like in
matches are
most
always so hard,
occasions,
man.
I feel
Yeah.
like in most occasions for each of these players, you're bringing Calyrex Shadow, Incineroar, um, your terrain Pokemon +1, and it's like, all right, which ones do we choose? Which one do we go with today? And yeah, it's tough. I'm sure that finals matchup was a gift to behold.
Did
um,
Victory Road stream this at all by chance?
they might have. I didn't get any notifications
I
about
didn't
it, but
either. That's why I was asking.
I'm not too
So I
sure.
don't
I
know if I
know
just missed it or if it didn't happen.
Joe UX9, our third place team player,
Hmm.
he was playing two different tournaments at once.
Joe is a madman.
He was playing a local at the same time as Victory Road and finished in third place.
Joe is a madman. That is the only
Um,
thing I can say about this man.
I can't believe it. He posted a picture on Twitter of him with two switches with Tim Edwards at a local, and he said, "I'm playing two tournaments today." uh, Insane. And this team is really really awesome. We have this kind of standard choice specs Miraidon instead of discharge, they're running
Ooh.
overheat on it, which is really cool. Um,
That is definitely a way to like delete opposing Rillabooms.
yeah, see you later, brother. Grimmsnarl with the Terra Ghost, the light clay set, which is pretty standard and has been very popular. We once again see this taunt Urshifu Rapid Strike. This one with
Notably, Joe has Protect instead of Detect,
yep, and Mystic
which is
Water
just
Terra
strictly
Poison.
worse.
It's Mystic Water Terra Poison on this, so he has the damage boosting that
Mhm.
the other Terra Stellars have in their item, but with the defensive Terra Poison, which is pretty cool. I like the Terra Poison. Protect is worse in case they're running Imprison Ditto. Or Imprison You, I guess. Ditto doesn't get imprisoned, so um, Imprison Transform, whatever. Um, I, Iron Hands, standard AV with Volt Switch, Volcarona, and King Gambit. This is where stuff gets really interesting. Um, this Volcarona set is Fiery Dance, Quiver Dance, Giga Drain, and Protect with the Citrus Berry Terra Grass. Um, Pretty standard, like hyper offensive. Normally I feel like you see Heat Wave, but Joe's kind of like, I'm just gonna hedge these rolls on Fiery Dance and see what I get.
Yeah, just mess him up. It'll be all
And
right.
then and then
This
Lum
is
King
actually
Gambit.
for the secret tech. Instead of like playing King Gambit on his world team, is going to be next to Oricorio, so you can just like quiver dance into fiery dances over every turn.
Yep. You can do
That's the
Dancer,
secret.
and then you will endlessly get boosts until your Oricorio gets one shot by anything on the physical
No, no,
side.
no, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine. You're behind screens.
You're still getting one
No, no,
shot
no,
by
no, no, no,
anything
no.
that
J,
breathes
J,
on.
J, J, J,
You're
J.
running Focus Sash.
So
We're
you're
running
not
Focus
getting one
Sash.
shot then. By your own logic, you're wrong.
Yeah, and the Incineroar on the other side of the field. Like, I'm gonna smack a clap in your face, stupid
Wait, what?
bird.
So you can protect and then click fiery dance, and your Oricorio still gets to attack behind its protect. Jay, you're not thinking big enough here.
And then you into the Volcarona, and Oricorio's sad.
No, they're covert cloak. It's fine.
Carter, put it together. Let's ship it. Let's send it. Let's rock. Let's roll. Whatever you want to say. Um, the Lumberry King Gambit is really cool. It actually does work now as an Incineroar counter. Um, like a lot of Incineroar drop the fire coverage for Will-O-Wisp nowadays, or like we saw Helping Hand. So seeing a running the Lumberry here seems pretty smart with the defensive Terra. It takes a lot of your hits better. It helps with your fighting weaknesses. It helps with your fairy neutrality. So that's great. You obviously have that ground weakness still, which on this team is a little surprising because there's zero ground resists here, and there is 3 weeks. So, I guess you're kind of hedging into screens at that point.
Hey Jay, I'm wrong. We just play Ghost Oricorio, and then we don't have to worry about fake out.
And you have to worry about Chien Pao Sucker Punch. What are you doing about
Damn
that?
it.
What are you doing
Hold
about
on.
that one?
Hold
You're
on.
clicking Fiery Dance into the Chien Pao and knocking it to Sash,
Yeah,
and
you're at
also
plus
getting
one.
and
You're
also
already at
getting
plus one because you got a quiver dance off.
also getting the imaginary secondary effect to burn it and burn
No,
it
no, no, no,
Sash.
no, 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 no. Because then your dancer triggers and fires off a fiery dance as well. They're dead. They're dead.
I guess. I guess. I
See, it's
guess.
Jay. You're thinking too small brain.
I guess so. Yes. Yes, Carter. I am thinking too small brain about your Oricorio team building idea. For not only just for fun, but for Joe UX9 to bring to worlds. Alright?
You have no idea how bad I hope he does this. Just to
that
say
would
I called
be
it.
that would be hysterical.
To all my New England friends, I need you to get a hold of Joe and send him this. Tell him I've been in
To
the
your New
lab. I've been
England
thinking.
friends?
He's up in New England, right?
No.
Is he not?
He's a New York guy.
That's New England adjacent.
No, it is not.
It's New England adjacent.
Mister. Whoa. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Middle of Nowhere. I don't even know.
You're not wrong.
I feel so hurt right now. I just can't even put together words of what was just said to me. Wow.
Okay, so where is New England versus New York? Where
New
does New
England.
England end?
New England is to the right of New York and north.
Okay, so you mean like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont? That's
No,
considered.
not Connecticut.
That's too far
Massachusetts and
south.
up.
Okay, so what you're saying is the state adjacent to New York is not
First of
New
all,
York adjacent.
we go on my clap, not yours. And second of all, you better watch your damn tone. All right? You can be wrong and right at the same time. And this is one of those instances. Yes. Are they technically adjacent to us by the Webster's dictionary that you can't even read definition? Sure, Carter. Sure. I'll tell you that the words are probably correct for your understanding. But culturally, no.
I don't care about culturally. I care about being correct.
All right, and you're Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well be. There's like 2 states between us and Oklahoma.
You Midwesterners don't you have no sense of self.
Oh, actually, Missouri borders Oklahoma. I did not know that.
All you know is tornado.
Dude, you ain't wrong.
Have you seen Twisters yet?
No, we're probably gonna go see it sometime this week.
Great movie. Really fun.
I really, we saw the preview for Beetlejuice 2 as well.
Oh yeah?
It looks really good. Really, really want to go see that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that one too. There's some good movies coming out this year.
Dude, there really are. Is this a movie podcast now?
It is. I saw both Twisters and Long Legs this weekend.
And what?
Long Legs?
What is this?
It is a horror movie starring Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. It's about a CIA agent tracking down a serial killer of families.
What?
Who has no like DNA evidence in the house. So
Nicolas Cage is the bad guy?
yes. It
Dude, I have
was
not heard of this movie.
it was being raved about for a while because people were calling it the scariest movie of all time. It was overhyped for sure. It was much more creepy. It really wasn't that scary. There was nothing that was like,
I
you
mean,
know,
it got an 85 from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, and I mean 61 from audience is not like the worst.
like critically I can see why people like it. I just like the it's broken up into 3 chapters and like the third chapter lost me.
Mm,
There
gotcha.
there was there was explanations to what was happening and it was like that was not what I was hoping for. Like that's not as cool as I thought. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Long
can't
Legs.
even say I've heard of this.
It's a good movie. I mean, it was good. I'd probably give it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd.
I looked up movies in theaters now, and Shrek came up.
No, we gotta wait till
No, 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 Shrek
2025.
1. Shrek 1.
Oh, maybe they're re-showing it.
They're not.
No. Yeah.
Sing 2 is on this list for some reason. I think Google might be a little off.
If anyone's interested, go follow my letterbox, JMcG1010 and JMT10. You
I
can see
actually
that
don't have a letterbox.
you can see that I just recently watched all of the Lord of the Rings and gave them all 5 stars.
Have you seen Inside Out 2 yet?
Wait, did I knock it? Which one did I knock? What crack am I smoking? No, I did not see that.
Tiff said it was really good. I did not go see it. I was at work, so.
I did give it 5 stars. Why is my thing showing me otherwise? What am I? That's so silly. They were showing me the Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, as 4.5 stars. even though it's not my favorite movie, but it's my favorite book of all of them, I think.
Imagine being able to read.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool being able to read. Fun time.
All right, are we done being a movie podcast today?
Are we? You tell me.
I don't know, man. Can we go back and talk about Oricorio more?
We could we can talk about Oricorio. We can talk about it. I'm cool. Shout out to our VR winners and losers, I guess. I'm just, no, I can't. We'll
This
quickly
podcast is taking a weird turn today, man.
we're having fun. It's okay. We had a plan, and then it was all set back when we had some technical issues beforehand.
Dude, you ain't wrong. Today has been a day.
Yeah,
And like
it has
nothing
been.
major has gone wrong. It was just like, oh, hold on, we had to re-up our subscription real quick, and I don't know which one we use because I'm not the producer.
Yeah, and our producer was not answering his phone until like the
he was
literally
at dinner.
he came in the clutch like at the perfect time.
Yeah,
But yeah.
he said he was at dinner and didn't get my ping, and I'm lucky he had his phone out when I called him.
Carl, we love you. We appreciate your work as per usual.
Thanks for letting me ruin your family time.
Yeah, I think F them kids, bro. Nobody cares. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so rude.
I'm kidding. We love Amelia. Everyone knows that. All right.
She's adorable.
She's very cute. Next up, we can go to.
You want to talk about Venusaur? There's a Venusaur down here in 11.
Yeah. Do you want to just do Carter's Quarter? We're
Dude,
approaching.
we're an hour in almost.
Yeah,
like,
we're almost done. So I think
there's a Venusaur and Ursula
like
sunroom down here. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's
yeah. I'll just like before we do, I'll just say that like we have a pretty standardized meta in terms of like our top cut. We have just a lot of these Miraidon and Caloric Shadow balancy teams. Some of them lean a little bit more hyper offensive with like Chi-Yu, while and have Clefairy for that additional support. But you know, there's a couple of tech mons on each of these, but for the most part, you're really seeing like these kind of same cores in this top 8 to top 16 type area. I mean, when we get to top 16, we see a lot more Koraidon, we see some more Terapagos as well. Are you talking about the Venusaur down in 11th?
Yep, that's the one I got pulled up.
Yep. So we have 2 Koraidon. So there's the one with the Venusaur, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, this team looks really cool.
Covercloak Venusaur is actually very smart. One of the big issues with it is that you can get faked out. So having that ability to, negate that and be able to sleep powder stuff is amazing.
Fake out and Spore. I mean, fake out and Snarl.
Also, really great nicknames on this team.
Yeah, I love Dua Lipa, the Chi-Yu.
Yeah, I'm sure Bruno loves it too.
I was gonna shout him out. You stole it from me.
There's 2 things I know about Bruno. Is 1, he's a wormer, and 2, he loves Dua Lipa.
I love how you have reduced like his entire like personality and everything into 2 things.
Well, I've only
Earthworm and Dua Lipa.
I've only met Bruno once, and very briefly in Knox.
Yeah, 100%.
And he didn't even really recognize that it was me until much later on, after I started doing the podcast again. He like messaged me and he was like, oh, like I didn't realize that you were this Jay. Like I was like, yeah, that's
sure.
Me.
Way to backpedal on it, Bruno.
Then we chatted a little bit to building Orthworm teams, and then I follow his Twitter and I see him post about Dua Lipa a lot.
Dude, he posts about everything. Bruno is one of my favorite follows on Twitter.
Bruno really posts through it. We love a guy who just posts through it.
Dude, about everything. Also, have we mentioned that Beanie got like KFC sponsored, kind of?
Beanie and Tom Aiden.
Which is
Tommy's
like,
Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tom's the one who like made the post,
Yo,
And
Tom was
then,
dripped out in this KFC shirt, man. Oh my
did you see the
gosh.
jacket Beanie got?
They both got the same one. That's what I'm
Oh, did
talking
they?
about. The
Okay, okay, okay.
jackets,
Yeah, yeah,
they
dude, that
are
jacket is so
hot.
cool.
I gotta get me one. Like that was awesome. I love seeing our people win. And
So,
Tommy's a local for me. He's a Long Island guy, so uh
to tie this back
absolutely
in,
love
kind
that.
of, the gym lock for Emerald, my nickname theme is all like fast food restaurants. And in the script, I'm going to say something along the lines of, "Hey, if one of these companies wants to sponsor us, I'd let them," or something like that.
we got to talk to Tom and Beatty about their marketing ideas.
Dude,
How
the
to,
craziest part is he didn't even tag them in the tweet. Like, that's the part that is like absurd to me, is he didn't tag them whatsoever, and they
those
just
social
responded.
media people for the fast food guys, they are dedicated to their craft.
Dude,
Truly.
it's absurd. It's so funny to me that that's how like happened like that. I love it. I love it so much for them, and I'm so
Yeah,
jealous.
it's massive W's for them. Um, man,
Do
we
you
only
want to
have
talk
the
about
top.
Venusaur now?
We 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 could talk about Venusaur. I was gonna say I was looking at the. Okay, there's one other team that I want to look at. Actually, there's two other teams I want to look at afterwards, but we'll talk about Venusaur. Um, yeah, Venusaur's here. Carter, anything to add?
I mean, in all actuality, I really like the way this team is like designed. Having the the Terrifier Koraidon with Flame Charge, I think, is just really sick. Just being able to like going from good speed to that great speed tier while also doing that excess, like that extra damage that you need to, is just really good.
Yeah,
Um, and with one of the biggest threats in the format being like Koraidon and Kali Ice, incidentally, removing your dragging typing is actually really good. Like, it's crazy because like Terra Dragon is good on certain mons, but like being a native dragon type is not good. Let alone one that is like 4 times weak to fairy. So like
yeah,
being able to turn that 4 times weakness into a resistance is very good for you. I really like the flame charge set. It's not something I've played a lot with, just because I don't think that the Sun core is all that good. But man, I really like these Sunroom teams. They're some of my like favorite to play with in like non-restricted formats. And so to see them do well in a restricted format is always just like, yeah, cool, awesome. Love that
yeah.
for them.
And it's really cool because you see like some of these techs on some of these other Pokemon to try and cover for those bad weaknesses that
Mm-hmm.
uh Koraidon has. Like the Porygon is Terra Ground so that it could be, a good Miraidon answer. You have the Terra Blast, which can turn to Terra Ground with the download boost, would really do a ton. You have this Ursaluna as well, and the Raging Bolt, which are three really great counters to that um, Miraidon. The uh, Venusaur, Koraidon, Chi core is pretty good into those Calyrex ice teams. Um, the Terra Fire, the Terra Water on the 2 weeks, but also having the ability to just like put it to sleep is really nice. And yeah, the flame charges are really cool because like with the clear amulet, you're able to ignore those icy wind drops from Fluttermane, which will take advantage of your sun.
While
And
also really threatening, like specifically Fluttermane. Like,
yeah,
I mean, a sun boosted Terra Fire Flame Charge is going to do a chunk into Fluttermane's.
and the majority of like the booster Fluttermanes are not going to be running max speed.
Yeah.
They're going to be running enough to get to what they really want to hit. So like you can flame charge up and also resist their Moonblast with the Terrifier and start really going to town. Use these good supportive Pokemon like Venusaur, Porygon to help in certain matchups, and use Chi-Yu plus Venusaur as well as just like you can even just switch your Chi-Yu onto the field to allow your Venusaur to do big damage with a Grass Knot or a Sludge Bomb. I like this team. I think this team is really awesome. Big Ursaluna fan as well. So
I used Ursaluna on one of my weeks for the Inkay games.
Hmm.
Um, Also, if you haven't been following the Inkay games like series that we've done, I know Carl's put up a couple videos that he's played. I've put up the 4 matches I've played. I'm still needing to play my week 4 match. Um, so I need to get that done. And then this week, this week's theme is "Oops, all weakness policies." So
That, like, so every Pokemon needs to hold one, right?
has to hold a weakness policy. Yep.
Okay. I mean, you obviously need some proccers. Like,
I mean, Riolu's got to come, right?
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, quite literally.
Riolu is just my guy at this point. Like,
And
I
also,
love him so much.
I'd like just invest solely in bulk, drop some
Yeah,
coaching boost onto some stuff, and let your stuff rock. So
and like worst case scenario, you get a weakness policy boost on your Riolu.
yeah, and then your bullet punches are doing big damage,
they're doing
like
10% instead of
6% instead
5.
of 3.
This show is
Yeah,
so unhinged.
this has been a
Why?
messy one, but this has been good. You guys get to really see personality here, all right? Angelo, we love you, bud, but you keep us too tied down. You're like being married. You're this is our wild child, early
this is
20s.
this one's for the boys,
This is for the
like
boys right here. All right, listen here, boys. This one's for you. All right, I have two teams I want to talk about quickly before we get out of here.
okay.
31 and 32.
Alright.
31, I don't got a lot to talk about, but there is a ride on here.
Hold on.
There is a ride on here with Uproar. Huh.
This is the coolest piece of tech I've ever seen in my life.
So you counter Miraidon, you counter um
Your team can't
Amoonguss.
be put to sleep because of Uproar Rhydon. It's
Mm,
so funny to me.
oh my god, and it's the perfect Raging Bolt counter too.
This is so freaking funny. I love this so much.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This is stunning.
Who who did this?
This is Juan Borreguero. Sorry if
You
I messed up the name, but I think I did it okay. I
Juan,
took
you and I
1 year
need
of
to talk.
Spanish.
This is this is a
Th-
thing of beauty.
this is wonderful. Um, Everything else on this team is pretty standard
Yeah, I mean it's like
overall.
whatever, right? Like
Like the ride on is what's important here. And then in 32nd is the other team here. We have a 222 Dozo Giri Miraidon Dragonite Gigas Weezing core here.
hell yeah.
Um it's a thing.
This is a team.
Weezing doesn't synergize necessarily well with anything besides Regigigas on this team. Like you don't want
No,
it next
actually
to your
it's sick.
Miraidon.
It's sick because you have Rhydon out, and then they switch the terrain, and so you can just swap out your. Oh wait, hold on, that doesn't work because their terrain would be turned off by your Weezing. Weezing's
No, the
here.
terrain would stay up. It's just the ability. But
Yeah,
since
they're
Miraidon's is an ability, if you switch the Weezing back out again, it probably resets the electric terrain.
that is how that works. Yeah.
Because the
Um,
Orichalcum Pulse will no, it's the other one, the Hadron Engine.
A for
Will
effort.
will yeah. I pronounce that beautifully too. Oh man, I'm so proud of myself. I do think that the Assault Vest Terra Fairy Miraidon is suboptimal, in my opinion. I'm still not a huge seller on it, but it's cool here. Like, obviously, it did pretty well. 32nd out of 200 plus players is really great. And to bring something so unique to the table, like Dozo is not something I think we've seen at all recently. Gigas is not something we see too often, and like having this Dragonite without the Chiempao is also very unique. Um, there's a part of me who feels like you might just be better having something like Rillaboom plus Chiempao. Um, in these last two slots, I think that they like synergize really, really well with everything. Like uh, regular Dozo plus Rillaboom or plus Chiempao is like really good. And then you can switch it out and go Turbo Dozo. But cool team.
I like it in theory. I don't know how well it plays in practice. That's my like criticism.
I have never been able to play Dozo, so I will not be picking this up. I am a big time Gigas player though. I haven't played it since Sword and
You
Shield, but
would be.
I ran stuff with Gigas, man. I love that Pokemon. That was so much fun last year, last game. Last year, it's been like
2
3 years
years?
probably since I played with Gigas. But yeah, I ran it for a very long time, even in like the restricted formats. It was just so good. Like the max strike from it was great, and then you had great coverage as well with like high horsepower and whatever else you really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And the max strike was 150 base power because you could run Giga Impacts.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome. Um, I think that's about all I got. I mean, there's like a Basket Legion down here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
There's a Mousehold Wheezing Dozo team.
Yep, just saw that as well.
We unfortunately only have like the top 48 teams here, so we can't like with regionals go through the very deep stuff. But there are some restricted stats, some like usage stats down here if we wanted to look at them quickly before we cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is all the day 2 teams.
Yeah, it is. Ho-Oh. Where's their Ho-Oh?
0 in day 2.
The,
You're looking at day 1
there was
usage.
one singular one in day one, and that
Yep.
ended up in the top 10.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. There was 5 Lunellas and 0 converted to day 2.
Lunella. One
Ooh,
Zacian made it to day two.
Zamazenta went from 4% to 8% in day 2. Everything else, I mean, stayed about the same. Obviously, you see more Miraidon, you see more Cali Shadow, less Whale, less Turtle.
Yeah, I think that those are definitely like they're very matchup dependent.
Yeah.
Kyogre and Terapagos, so with Miraidon being as high as it is and like Calyrex Ice, normally those teams don't match up super well into like the Miraidon, Cali Shadow teams. So yeah. In terms of non-restricted, Urshifu Rapid Strike is the very top. Um,
Not
60,
really surprised to hear that.
67% in day two, but Incineroar all the way down at 4, which is a little interesting.
Yeah, the fact that there's more Raging Bolts and Ensigns is really surprising to me.
I'm like, I don't know how surprised I am. Like, Raging Bolt's just, like, they're both inherently broken, but Raging Bolt is, like, very, very well placed in this format.
Ah, yes, my
Um,
favorite non-restricted, Cali Ice.
and Cali Shadow right above
I
it.
miss Cali Shadow.
Oh, this is just overall usage. It's not
Oh, it is. You're right.
non-restricted.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So we can just
Okay. Yeah.
um
Man, I'm
yeah,
smart. Reading's really hard, man.
Cornerstone in 11th place, but didn't have great day 2 retention. Hearthflame had better retention
Yeah.
by quite a
14 up
bit.
to 21. Yeah.
Um
Fluttermane stayed about the same. Amoonguss stayed
Fluttermane
about the
down at
same.
15th is crazy.
Wild.
It wouldn't even make a
Serena
top
down here
12
in
graphic.
30.
Smeargle at 23.
There's a bunch of Smeargle teams.
Smeargle's cool.
I mean,
Smeargle's actually
granted,
very cool in
there's
this format.
4 of them, but it seemed like there was a lot.
Those teams are always really well constructed.
Unfortunately, there is no stream by Victory Road for this event.
That stinks.
That explains why we didn't get a notification about the stream.
Yep. But that is the stats. That's the tournament. We barely covered any of it, but we had fun while we did. As you might be able to tell, Pokemon is not, especially not VGC competitive Reg G Pokemon, is not at the top of Vine and Carter's to-do list on a daily basis.
Not right now. It will be eventually, but I mean, this draw up to Worlds is kind of whatever right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I don't know. I like don't know when I'm gonna really get back into it.
I'm sure I will. Like,
I'm just kind of along for the ride right now.
That's where I'm at.
There's like no local big regionals to prep for.
Yeah.
Our local scene is good, but I don't. Most of it's in like the city, and I don't feel like traveling out there. So.
Heard. Remember when Nick Cage played Ghost Rider?
I do. That was a good time.
Did you think Nick Cage would get brought up twice today, or?
Well, he always likes it, baby. I love Nicolas Cage, man. That guy is awesome. Have you seen? I want to know it's like The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I think it's called.
I've never even heard of this.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's with him and Pedro Pascal. Fantastic movie. Really, really good.
I never have even heard of this. I know the meme, but I didn't know what
Unfulfilled
it was
and facing financial ruin, actor Nick Cage accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy fan's birthday party. Things take a wildly unexpected turn when a CIA operative recruits Cage for an unusual mission. Taking on the role of a lifetime, he soon finds himself channeling his most iconic and beloved characters to save himself and his loved ones.
What?
It is amazing. It is amazing.
Nick Cage is playing himself?
Yes.
This is so wild. What is this movie?
It is amazing. I cannot recommend it more. It is such a fun watch. Truly
this is
fun.
So funny.
And it has 87% critics, 87% audience.
That's on so Tomatoes. Cool. I need to watch this. Where can I stream this?
Peacock, Prime Video, Apple TV.
Interesting. All right. That's going on the watch list. This looks so fun.
It was great. So good. Are we good? Are we
done? Think we're good. I think we've gotten into the Nick Cage corner of the podcast. And does anyone really want to stay in that corner for too long?
Welcome to the Cage corner. Things get wacky over here.
Shut up and end it.
We're gonna go steal the Declaration of Independence.
I forgot about National Treasure.
All right, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe,
it's
all that
so
fun
hot
YouTube
here.
stuff. Let us know all your favorite movies down below, what we should watch, and also let us know deep, comprehensive plans on how to steal the Declaration of Independence.
We definitely won't be contacting the CIA or FBI about that, but it's fine.
And if any of you just link a stream to watch National Treasure, you get a thumbs up. Come and follow the Twitter at LR Lessons. Make sure you complain to Angelo about how unbearable and unhinged we were this week.
This is all his fault.
It is Angelo's fault, and you can always blame him for any problem that arises at any point ever. Even if it has nothing to do with what's going on here. If it's just you're walking around at work and you drop a box on your foot, you say, "Dang it, Angelo, why'd you do that?" I do that all the time. It helps me get through these podcasts. Come hang out in the community Discord, and you can chat with us about movies and stuff. And check out the Patreon and Discord supporters links where you can help us keep the lights on and pay for our Amazon Prime subscriptions so that we can watch good movies. Thank you all so much for watching episode number 230. I got the episode number right this time. I will see you all next week. Peace out.